My name is Cyneatha Millsaps, and I'm a pastor of Community Mennonite Church in Markham, Illinois. And I was invited here by Suella. I was interested and intrigued by mimetic theory and wanted to learn more about it.
I'm Suella Gerber. I am the pastor at Fellowship of Hope. It's a small Mennonite church in Elkhart, Indiana. And this is my fourth, I believe, Theology and Peace conference. To read the Bible as, in addition to being a revelation of God's love, that the Bible is also a revelation, like that we see in the Bible who human beings are, that the Bible is also about who human beings are, and that the Bible is, there's a trajectory in the Bible to revealing a God that is gratuitously loving, and that is always including those that have been excluded. You know, millennia ago, people understood God to be excluding these groups of people. They thought God was, you know, and so they excluded them. And then you see Jesus including all these groups of people that Moses' law clearly said you can't include. So God's movement through time has been, or love's movement through time has been including. And that's part of what I see about mimetic rivalry, is that it uncovers all these lines that we draw that separate ourselves from each other.
For me, listening to Neil, it just hits close to home. I have a son who is serving 24 years in prison for possession of prescription medication. And everything that he is talking about, the system and how we arrive at this point, I know it in the depth of my being now. And so it's not a surprise. I get frustrated still when I am in settings like this with all these bright and intelligent people who seem not to understand that this is happening around us every day. So for me, it's a little bit different because I'm living it every day. Yeah.
24 years?
24 years for 30 pills.
One of the things that happened to me in visiting Palestine is that it gave me kind of an objective scenario, an objective place to come back and I see with a clarity that, I mean, I knew it intellectually, but I came back with a clarity like that, oh, the war on drugs would fit into it. I mean, there's all kinds of ways in which I now see we are systematically, I mean, I think we can call it genocide. I mean, there's a systematic planning that discriminates against black and brown bodies. And that as whites, most of the people, I mean, part of white privilege is not having to see it, but then you live in the fear of that other, which would be part of what René Girard points out.
And one of the frustrations I had in going to Israel and then coming back here is we've had generations of watching this happen from one event to the next. We create another event. And so, like Neil says today, now it's menthol, tobacco. So as soon as we have to, okay, they caught us on the war on drugs, so now we're about to lose that. So what's the next way in which we keep this group of people down, keep this group of people out of, it's genocide to me, 1,000 times over. And so, so I struggle again with so many bright minds still saying, how does this happen?
Yeah, and the mechanism that had Nazi Germany killing Jews is the same mechanism that has us killing and incarcerating black bodies.
Yes. Well, for me, the best part, and what I want to do some more studying on, is this idea of love in it, and how a wounded person can model a person who wants to heal the wounded person's woundedness. Therefore, the wounded person then wants to be healed. And I work with African American young girls who are extremely wounded. And in the last couple of years, because of me loving on them, I can begin to see them building their own self-love. And so I want to do some more studying in that, because I believe that is truth. Yeah.
And in my context, one of the things that I talk about, and it's probably every sermon that I preach, is that because God, there's love, because God loves us, it's okay. So the violence of a structure that's killing a particular group of people isn't out there and I'm separate from it. It's something that I and you and that we are all a part of it. It's part of what it means to be the human species.
That's right.
And that actually our freedom is like that. We can start to transform it by naming it and saying, yeah, that's my violence,
right.
and owning it, and not,
And a better educational system that speaks truth to all of our history, and the reality of all of the history of here in the U.S. and around the world. That has to happen. Like we have to tell the right story.
Yeah, and it takes time.
Yeah.
It's taken millennia, and it's going to take more. And
right.
And love is big enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be hurried.
Right.